Here we go to a friend of mine, Steve Day. Steve Day might be in chat. He'll certainly watch this later. He's a longtime subscriber to the stream. I don't know if he could make it tonight, but I'm glad he's here. And there he is. Holla. All right. He goes by Akbla. So, Steve, you're a good friend of mine. You play hockey, and I know you like feedback. So here we go. All right. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to use Steve's resume to highlight a point some people face. And not everybody on this stream is going to face it, but Steve has to make a choice, and I'm only showing one copy of his resume. And if we go to the bottom, just to bring this topic up right away, in some copies of his resume, he just omits this whole section. And why does he omit, delete, get rid of this whole section? And somebody says, should we block out personal info? No, he was comfortable with it being shared in this case. So he figures if someone sees the stream, it's that much more chance they'll hire him. So he's good with it, but thank you for asking. He chops out this whole section because, like me, in my case with the white hair, what this says going back to 1999 is it says Steve's older. So if he chops this out, he looks younger. Specifically, he looks a whole decade younger. He gets 10 years younger by deleting this experience, and that's a trade-off. Okay. Here's something interesting. He's Steve Day on this page, and he's Stephen Day there. I didn't notice that before, but pick one. Stephen Day at Steve Day. Didn't notice that, but I'd pick one, Steve. Next thing. Steve recently took a shot, and God bless him for doing this, at building a studio on Twitch. And he tried to start a cooking show. There's a million reasons that didn't end up working out. But he had this experience. He took a shot at it. He tried starting his own company. And I thought it was a fantastic idea that just didn't quite get off the ground. But now he wants to work as a product manager. And he's interviewing for product manager jobs. And I think, Steve, looking at this, I have a lot of ideas on how you can change your resume to have more impact. So this is going to be worth it for you. I'm glad you're here. First, I advised somebody else on this recently. You're the founder. That means no one is going to change. There's no one who's going to contradict you about what you did. So without lying, you can give yourself extra titles that support your job. So I would immediately change this to founder and chief product officer, because people are used to seeing resumes where founders have multiple roles that say co-founder and CTO, founder and chief product officer, co-founder and head of sales. There's also CEO and acting CTO. You can use all kinds of stuff. The point is, make the call out that you did product manager work in this role. And then I would try and call out a little bit what part was, this is the product manager part. And I think in each of these roles, it might make sense to use bullets and a double indent of what you did that was product management related and what you did that was not. And I wouldn't say not product management. I would say additional responsibilities. So I would say product management, and I try and figure out two bullets to say under it. And I think it's these two bullets. So product management, colon, indent, these two bullets. Founder responsibilities, colon, these two bullets. Now suddenly we're going to build a theme of this in your resume, because we're going to go down here and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to take these two bullets and put them in a product manager section. And we're going to take the rest of it and say additional responsibilities or poker room operation responsibilities. But you're cutting apart what you did as a product manager and what you did elsewise. And that covers the fact you were working in strange jobs. Because for everybody who hasn't seen it, Rex, I appreciate how enthusiastic you are. It's now after 6 a.m. in Hamburg, Germany, where the Rex 243 is watching. So God bless him. He's pulling an all-nighter to see the stream. Look, this resume can be kick-ass much better, but it's got challenges. Steve is struggling to find the right job because his history has a lot of gaps and challenges. There's no consistent story. He founded his own studio. He was working at Poker Stars on the Isle of Man. I'm not sure where that is, and it sounds maybe like, I do actually know where the Isle of Man is, but most people probably don't or may not. And working at Poker Stars sounds a little skeevy. So you got to overcome those things. And I think by formatting the product manager part, you start to pop out your relevant experience. The rest of this I like. He's got clear bullets. He's got power words. He created, he owned, he designed, he led, he contributed. Everything here is strong. And I think this should be pulled up into the PM section. So I'd reorder this and pop it up. Make these two top bullets plus this one all about PM. Things you did as a PM, product manager. We'll keep going. But you need to tell a common story, and you can do this. See, again, you can format this into product management and non-product management work. And now we're 3 jobs deep where you can call these 2 things product management, and you can call the rest of it whatever you need to. By the way, I might shorten this somehow. Manager of VIP, Team Online, Ring Games, and Sit and Go tournaments. That's inside baseball, like the Team Steps Master Resilience Trainer. It means a lot to poker players maybe, and to gamblers. That's not your audience, and so I'd figure out something else to say. Last thing Steve has to overcome, and I know he didn't finish a college degree. You might as well, in a way, just say I didn't go to college because there's no education mentioned anywhere on here. I recognize that's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I would think about, is there anything you want to say about your education or not? If you drop all of this, you're good. Let's see. Read job titles. Director of Poker Room Operations is misleading as well. I'm not trying to get you to lie. I guess I'm looking for a way to simplify it. I'm not a fan of lying, but I am trying to figure out how can you pull these down. And this one just struck me as really long and really opaque. Is there any shorter thing you can call that? If there isn't, it's not the end of the world. I think the winning advice here is to break it up into PM sections. And then the other thing I wish I had on your PM stuff is what was the impact of what you did. This one generates $1 billion in revenue. That's incredible. What did this one do? What did some of these others accomplish? So like when you own this roadmap, what was the result? I'm looking for result. Maybe you think the result is here, like contributed to study market share increase. Then I'd put it with the PM stuff. I'd put it as the conclusion of what you did. Yeah, and someone here suggests management of 4 projects at Poker Stars. Yeah, management of 4 teams at Poker Stars, and you can list them in small font later. All right. We're going to jump back over to questions. Steve, I do think, though, if you call out that PM experience, you're going to be way better off. Jumping over to questions. All right, we got one with 10. So we'll let the mods pop that up. And the question is, in your experience section, how should you present multiple positions held at a single employer over several years, promoted from intern, etc.? Well, I think the last resume I have, nope, it's not going to get to that. Might have been one of the earlier ones. So This is a good question. I think the way Steve does it is the tradition. However, there is one thing missing, and I'll flip back to his resume and point it out. I would list his total time at PokerStars here to make it clear he was promoted and that these are sub positions, particularly because it spans multiple pages. I would say PokerStars 2009 to 2015, and then it becomes clear that this is a role at PokerStars because it's not the same period. And so I get the idea. He has PokerStars continued, so he's making the point to the person who asked the question and all of you who voted for it. This is how it's done. It shows his track record of progression. You listed oldest first. It's great. It shows you as VIP program manager, then head of the VIP program, then manager of the VIP program, and more. I would at least say head here. And then he was director, and so it shows progression. This is exactly how I would do it. So let's see. He says, I have a draft like that, but the automated resume scanners hate it. Oh, well, I don't know. Yeah, automated resume scanners. You've told me, Steve, that you only get jobs or interviews when you go in through a reference. So if that's true, why are you optimizing for automated resume scanners that apparently don't work worth a crap for you? And if double indent's the wrong text solution, do it another way. So yeah, your resume is pretty much worthless. Well, it's not completely worthless. People are going to read it when prepping for your interview, and they're going to read it in deciding whether or not to bring you in off of that reference. So you care about the resume anyways if you get the interview. The resume still, I look at every interview I do, I look through the resume and decide what I'm going to ask the person. So you want PM to jump out in your resume. I think that is a worthwhile investment.